is happening? The 21 Convention, Tampa, Florida. We have a pretty amazing speaker. He is the founder of the Direct Dating Summit. He, is somebody who is actually, I've surely seen YouTube videos of him. He's one of the most asked about guys here at the convention. And he is known for, well, I'd say many things, but destroying your fears as a man. If you have trouble approaching, meeting women, or working through some issue in your life, Sasha Daygame is the man to talk to. Come on stage, my man. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Listen to that.
What's up? How you guys feeling? This guy, the fucking Indian guy, has more energy than you fuckers. How you guys doing? All right, that's better. So my name's Sasha, and I'm a professional dating coach for many years before that, and still currently stand-up comedy is my thing. So I thought, wouldn't it be appropriate to start with a little joke? Yes? Who wants to hear a little fucking joke? Yeah. Good. So my best friend, Jeff, in Toronto, is one of my best buddies, awesome guy. He's really helped me out throughout my life, a really loyal friend. And for me, that's one of the most important things, loyalty. So my buddy Jeff, I come home one day, I was living with him for years. I come home one day, and Jeff loves this game, Grand Theft Auto. This is years ago, this is Grand Theft Auto 2, right? So it's this game where you go around, you rob people, and you get missions, and you get money, and whatever. So I come in, and I walk in, and I see Jeff behind the computer, and he's there, and he's just pressing, I just see him pressing the space bar really fast. He's just there going, and I look up on the screen, and I see a guy's bicep, and he's holding a weight, and the guy's just working out this weight, right? And I'm like, Jeff, what's going on, buddy? You know, I don't understand. What's up? And he's like, oh, I got to get to this next mission, to this next level, but for me to succeed, I have to go on a date with this woman, but to do it, but she won't go out with me because I'm not in good enough shape. So I got to go to the gym and I got to work out, and then he's just there, just doing this fucking thing. And I'm looking at this guy like he's from outer space, and I'm like, dude, you realize the time you're putting into this video game, you go out there in the real world, join an actual gym, get fucking ripped, feel better about yourself, go on a date with an actual woman, and have real sex with a real woman. And Jeff looks at me and just goes, fuck that. And Jeff went for a stretch for like 10 years of not having sex, finally had some sex, but just is not interested in having sex. And it came down to he had a bad experience, and he just decided he's got this fear of women. He just went, I'm not going to deal with that. Fuck that. And he played video games, and he's a nice guy, and he does his stuff, watches TV, but he just will not approach girls. He won't face his fears. And I think that's one of the biggest problems for men today. We're not really put into a situation where we have to face our fear. We actually have to become men. James mentioned this as well. And so we kind of become little bitches, and it's kind of normal, right? You can go and do what you're supposed to as a man. You go and you get your job and you make your money, but you're still a fucking little child, right? And for me, my process, I did it the long way. I went out and I spoke to like thousands of women, but eventually I manned the fuck up and I got to a point of being fearless in that part of my life, and I found that spread into other areas of life. And I really find that you're either going to be one of those guys that faces fear head on. You're like, fuck this, I'm going to do what I want to. I'm just going to, whatever scares me, whatever I can't do, I'm going to do it over and over until I master it. And then that just opens up your entire life so you can just do anything. Literally, there's nothing you can't do if you face fear. But if you live in fear, you can't do shit. And you end up living a mediocre life. And again, other speakers have spoken about that. So I thought, let's make my whole talk about destroying approach anxiety and social fear. How's that? Good? And I want it to be, yes, that's right. And I want it to be interactive, so I've got these Sasha Daygame condoms. That's right. It says, and you can get one of these if you're interactive. It says "Got Game" in the front. Here's the best part. You open it up, and it says inside, we don't sell condoms. We create men that need condoms. That's right. So, yep. And so whoever gets a condom, if you have sex with a girl and you use it and you get me video proof, you win even more stuff. So that's all. Leave it at that. All right. So let's get cracking. I'm not very good. There's going to be weird stuff in here. I'm not a professional maker of screens. Okay. So who has social fear? Everybody. Fucking everybody. Okay. If you've ever been nervous about talking to a hot girl, okay. If you've ever thought about public speaking, being the best man at a wedding, going to any situation, maybe somebody's like, hey, you should go do stand-up comedy, and you're fucking shitting yourself. Everyone has social fear, okay? It's not like, oh, that guy's afraid. Everybody has it. So, there you go. Nice professional slide. So, now, I find I think in my opinion, there's only one real way to deal with that shit and get over it, okay? I'm not even going to ask you guys if you've seen a hot girl and be like, and then run away. Everybody does that. So some people might say, well, you're going to do hypnosis. I don't trust hypnosis. Okay, it doesn't work for everybody. It's expensive. And frankly, I don't trust some dude like, all right, stare at this, and I'm going to make you. And I'm just like, no, man. James Marshall spoke about this earlier. If you don't have to work for it, right, it's probably not worth much. Am I right? So I don't believe in that shit. I think you really have to make deliberate, conscious change, and that will lead to permanent change. You have to work for it. You got to feel that pain and get through it to actually get results. So first, I'm going to do a little review. I put these out in one of my talks before, so just a quick review of some crucial mindsets, and then I'm going to actually get into my system for permanently removing social fear. So that's right. Fuck that shit. I hate it. Seriously, and it's funny because like there's so many guys from so many different cultural backgrounds all over the world, and it doesn't matter where they are, where they come from. I'll point to a really beautiful girl and I'm like, just go over there and say hi. And they're like, no. You know, and it really is the most crippling thing. And I found after, 7, 8 years of teaching this stuff, if you can just get rid of it, if you can really just get to a point where you just don't give a fuck, you're like, I don't care, your whole life changes because you're just like, I'm just going to do it. You know, even if you suck at game, you don't know what to talk about, it doesn't matter. If you're not afraid and you come up and actually face it and talk to women, everything else falls into place. So, some of my mindsets, I think, are useful. Women are bored! Women are bored. Most women have mediocre lives. They walk around doing their thing. They go to work. They work for a few hours. They come home. They'll eat their food. Maybe they'll talk to their girlfriend on the phone, and they'll watch some movie, and then they'll go to, they'll masturbate in a lot of cases, and they'll go to bed. Okay? This goes on forever. There's not that many amazing, crazy things happening. And just by actually coming up to a girl and being like, hey, I want to talk to you. You look amazing. She's already going like this. I can't believe that happened. That's a great story. Even if she says no or if she's married, odds are she's calling her friend going, this guy came up to me and told me I was sexy. I can't believe this. Obviously not in that manly voice. That'd be weird. But so women are bored, and just recognize that you're giving women and other people you speak to a great story just by engaging them and giving them some kind of experience other than nobody talking to them. Does that make sense? Okay. So, women are hornier than men. Does that come as a shock to anybody? No. They are. How do I know this? I know. So women are hornier than men. Now, not just that women have like this thing called a clitoris, which is built just for their sexual pleasure, which, frankly, I'm a little bit upset we don't have one of those, That's some bullshit. God, if you're listening, that's not fair, and you know it. Anyway. But also, if you've ever, women have, just as an idea, if you ever read any of those books that have all those, there's Secret Garden and there's that other huge one, Women's Fantasies, all these books, if you actually read those books, their fantasies are crazy. Like it's unbelievable. Like a man's like, yeah, I had sex and then I ejaculated on her boob and then I went it was awesome. That's us. And maybe her friend was watching. Women are like, there's 19 dudes and 40 horses, and they all take their turns, and they fuck me, and my arm falls off, and they start fucking the arm thing, and I'm tied up, and one guy's punching me in the face, and then they have multiple organs, and this goes on for 4 months. That's their fantasy. It's just some ridiculous, horny, crazy shit, and men are just like, I watched a porn movie, and a girl gave me a blowjob at the same time. Cool, dude. So women are way, way hornier, and if you actually have sex, anyway. So that's just an important thing. Don't be like, yeah, we want sex and they don't know. They're way worse than us. Okay, this is really big. How long does it take to come up to a girl and be like, you look beautiful, I just had to come over and meet you? How long does that take? 15 seconds. 15 seconds? Max, you get a condom. You can get that later. But what was that? That sound like I just went over and called him a bitch and punched him in the face. I threw a condom. It hit someone else. Okay, so it doesn't take long. It takes literally 10, 15 seconds, if that, to come over to a girl and tell her, hey, you look amazing. And it makes women happy that some man actually had the balls to come over there and make her feel good. So it's a beautiful thing. It's excellent. It only takes a few seconds. So one of my greatest mindsets is you're an asshole if you don't go over there and make some woman's day or some person. All right. So this is a really big one. Nobody talks about this. Okay, so most things in Hollywood movies are absolutely bullshit, right? Like all the advice they dole out, I just want to punch the screen. But there's one thing that's in those Hollywood movies that's actually true, and it's that women crave a magical moment. Now, can anyone kind of guess what am I talking about here? Okay, well, that's a little bit extreme. But yeah, sure, I joke about that when on my boot camps. Did you have one as well?
She was going about a day, and you came out of nowhere.
Right. Something like that. So most girls meet guys in really unimpressive environments. They'll just be in a bar and some guy's hammered and he works up the courage and comes over, hey, let me buy you a drink. And it's like so standard, it's horrific. And that's why I really like meeting girls in everyday situations. Because odds are, just by approaching her in a bookshop, on the street, on a bus, you're already kind of creating that magical moment, especially if you're authentic and you're direct with your intention. So a quick way to illustrate this is, students will often ask me, what do I do if there's two girls or a group of girls? And the big mistake is going up and be like, hey, you guys are all so hot or whatever. Don't ever do that, because you come off of this as this horny dude, right? Like, you guys are hot. I'd bang any of you chicks. Bad. Okay? But the movie moment, even if there's 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 girls, it doesn't matter. I'll walk up and I'll be like, hey guys, don't worry, I'm not a lunatic. However, then I'll look at one girl in the eye and I'll say, you are absolutely gorgeous. I just have to meet you. What's your name? I'm Sasha. And I'll put out my hand. Why did that create a magical movie moment?
For, well, I'd say many things, but destroying your fears as a man. If you have trouble approaching, meeting women, or working through some issue in your life, Sasha Daygame is the man to talk to. Come on stage, my man. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Listen to that.
And so, yeah, there's many paths, but try and pick the path that's going to serve you in the long run. Girl goes, no, all right, forget the baby. How about a date? We'll start slow, okay? Simple, effective. Great. Okay. So this is huge here. I love this. This is like one of the most important things I've been teaching for years and years and years and years and years. And people they pay a lot of money for this, so pay attention.